Hello folks, I left you not so long ago at the end of the tubular cast on and 2 rows of double knitting to set up for Colour Brioche, and here we are back with the same blue and grey wool ready to go, and we are going to carry out the setup rows that will let us work Colour Brioche. So we're going to make 4 passes, 2 on this side of the work, then 2 on the other side of the work for 1 full pattern repeat of Colour Brioche. So, a nice simple beginning. We're going to knit the first stitch, yarn forward, slipping always purlwise, slip the grey, and without taking the yarn to the other side of the work, letting it wrap over the grey to create a yarn over on top of the grey, I'm going to knit the next stitch. Oh, he says missing the end of his needle. So I have my first blue, I have a grey with a blue yarn over, and I have my next blue. Bring my yarn forward, slip the grey, and without doing anything else with my yarn, let it fall over the grey and knit the next blue. Do that again, yarn forward, slip the grey, do nothing with your yarn, just let it hang over your needle and knit the next blue. Yarn forward, slip the grey, let it hang over the needle, knit the blue, yarn forward, slip the grey, yarn hangs over the needle, knit the blue, yarn forward, slip the grey, let it hang over the needle, knit the blue. So we have all of the blue stitches on their own and all of the grey stitches with a blue yarn over sitting over the top of them. So that was the first half of our setup. Let's do the second half. We're going to work with the purple, the grey this time. And because the outer stitch is a self edge, we are just going to slip that stitch. This assumes that you're working flat. Now, we're going to perform what's called a brioche purl. We're going to purl the grey stitch and its blue yarn over as if they were a single stitch. I'm going to slip the next blue stitch, take my yarn round the needle so it goes over the needle, comes under the point and back to where I would normally work a purl stitch. And then I have another brioche purl. The grey stitch with its blue yarn over treated as a single stitch. Slip the blue purlwise, yarn round needle, brioche purl, burp. Slip the blue purlwise, yarn round needle, burp, brioche purl. Slip the blue purlwise, yarn round needle, brioche purl. Slip the blue purlwise, yarn round needle, brioche purl. Last stitch, I'm simply going to slip it. So I have now worked 2 passes on this side of the work, which is 1 row, and that has set up my brioche ready to knit. Let's knit the 2 passes that are on the other side of the work, and that for me is 1 4-pass brioche repeat. Now, on the wrong side of the work, we are of course doing the opposite to what we see on the right side. So on this side we are purling the blue, so purl the blue, slip the first grey stitch, yarn round needle, and there's a brioche purl made up of a blue with a grey yarn over. Slip the grey, yarn round needle, brioche purl, 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 slip the grey, yarn round needle, and just a purl stitch for the self edge to finish. Now you can see that we have working yarn at two different ends of the work, which tells us we've worked one pass and we need to work the second pass of that side. So we slide to the other end of the needle. We know that the grey stitches are the knit stitches on the rib at this side. So set up with the grey, ready to knit, making sure that I don't pick up one of my tails, which we have all done at some point as knitters. I'm going to slip the blue purlwise, and I'm going to brioche knit, sometimes called bark, BRK, in patterns. So I'm going to knit the grey and its blue yarn over as if they were one stitch. Bring my yarn to the front, slip the next blue stitch purlwise, and then I'm going to brioche knit. So leaving the yarn here, it's going to fall over to make a yarn over and brioche knit. Yarn to the front, slip the blue purlwise, let my yarn hang over as I perform the next brioche knit, yarn forward, slip, brioche knit, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit the grey with its blue yarn over, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit the grey with its blue yarn over, and slip the last stitch. And throw your needle on this. Throw the needle on your chair. So there we are, we have established the brioche pattern. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to stick a few more rows onto this and then let you look at it once it has grown a little. But it's exactly the same repeats that we've done before. Would you like to see one more batch? Okay. Some people may want to do one more batch, some people may not. If you're confident, you can stop here. If you want to see it again, let's do those 4 passes again. As I'm sitting making this video, I'm thinking, you've done the 4 passes that's created the setup. Let's just work them one more time and people will know exactly what they're doing. So, knit the first stitch, which gives me my self edge if I'm working flat. Yarn forward, slip the grey purlwise, brioche knit the blue and its grey yarn over, yarn forward, slip the grey, brioche knit, 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 yarn forward, slip the grey, and knit the last stitch on its own, no yarn over. I now have working yarn at two ends of my work, so I know that I've created the first pass of a side and I need to create the second pass. So slide my work to the other end of your straight needle or the other end of your circular, and here we go. Because we're working with the grey this time and we're on this side of the work, we'll be purling with the grey, so we're going to slip the first blue one, and it has a blue yarn over, so we're working brioche purl or burp. Slip the blue stitch, yarn round needle, so we come back to the purl working position, brioche knit, slip, bring it towards you, brioche knit, slip the blue, yarn round needle, brioche knit, brioche purl, sorry, burp, slip the blue, yarn round needle, burp, slip the blue, yarn round needle, burp, and slip the blue, and that finishes the first side of that one. Let's turn it and work the wrong side of the work, or the opposite side of the work. On this side, the blues are being purled, so starting with your main colour again, purl the blue, slip the first grey stitch, yarn round needle, brioche purl the blue, slip the next grey stitch, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip the next grey stitch, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip the next grey stitch, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip the next grey stitch, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip the next grey stitch, yarn round needle, and single stitch on the end, purl the blue to create the self edge. Working yarn, one at either end, so we're nowhere halfway through a side, slide to the other end of the work, and we're going to be knitting the grey stitches this time. So let's slip that first blue stitch, and brioche knit that first pair. So bark, B-R-K, bark, yarn forward, slip, bark, let the yarn fall over the knit, over the stitch you have slipped, and just knit it, and that creates your yarn over for your slip stitch. Yarn forward, slip, bark, yarn forward, slip, bark or brioche knit, yarn forward, slip, bark or brioche knit, yarn forward, slip, bark or brioche knit, whichever you want to call it. I'm on the last stitch, so I'm not moving my yarn forward this time. I'm just going to slip the last stitch, which is my self edge, and again I have my two working yarns back at the same side, so I'm ready to turn back to my main colour or my main side, which is the blue, and I have established my brioche working, and you can see that in there I have my blue and I have the brioche V in beside the purl stitches, and that is your basic brioche stitch in two colours. Good luck.